Because reading is what?
Fundamental.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Do You Read BTS? I'm Lisa.
And I'm Delaze. Thanks for joining us. So this week we have another special guest. We are speaking with none other than Miss Pervy Noona, who wrote the story that we just read and reviewed, belonging to Bangtan. So, yay!
We love Pervy Noona. It's so many stories that we love that you've written.
Yes.
Hi guys.
I know this isn't the story that we were going to talk about, but what was
But we
it?
gotta talk about some of these other stories.
Oh, we
too.
got to. While we have you, we have to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, real quick. Yes, sir, and yes, daddy. Girl, what?
Yes. Everything.
I freaking love those stories. I was like, okay, all right. I see what we're doing here. I like it.
Yes, girl. Frat house. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. My gosh.
Yes, so many. And the arrangement.
And that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
so
I listened to your reviews of those before. And then with Yes Sir and Yes Daddy was actually the very first sequel I ever did to any of my books.
Really?
So I love, Yes Daddy got such a big following. Everybody loved it so much, and I actually fell in love with the characters and just how Namjoon grew so much through the book. And there was so much character development. I'm like, but you know what? There's room for some more. So
yes.
That's where the
and we loved it. Oh my goodness, it was so good.
It was. Oh my gosh. I was like, this story is amazing.
Yes. I personally love Frat House though. I really did love Frat House. It had so much into it.
Yeah, Frat House was really good.
But that was my very first BTS fanfic I ever wrote.
Oh wow!
Oh really?
Yeah. The first one I ever wrote was the GOT7 one that's on there. But that was my first BTS one, and I literally had no idea what I was going to do. I sat down and started writing, and just went flying by the seat of my pants through that entire one.
Wow!
Yeah.
You did good.
Yes, you did great for your first book, girl.
Heck yeah!
Well, considering that one now has over 3 million reads, I'm still in shock about that. It still shocks me to this day that it has that many reads.
Wow.
Yeah. I know we were talking about it with the last author we were talking. What's her name? Jagia.
Oh,
yeah.
And we were talking about how we originally started reading the other book, and it kept being. I don't know how we found Frat House and then we found that book together, but then I kind of I seen that the other girl was stealing everything from Frat House.
Yeah, I actually spoke with that author. That was a very hard time for me because it looked like she was plagiarizing my work, and it tore me up. It almost made me want to stop.
She definitely did that. I mean, from word.
Yeah, it was just, I told her, I said, one similarity or two similarities is okay, but there was just way too many. So we actually messaged back and forth, and she apologized, and she took it down and reworked a lot of it. And she did keep one scene in there that was similar with my permission, and she just credited me for it, for the inspiration for it, which I told her I was fine with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she worked with me a lot. She was very, very sweet. So I made sure to tell, all of my readers, don't go bash her. Don't give her a lot of crap. Be nice to her. She's been very, very calm through this whole process. But
that was so nice of you. That was so nice of you.
Oh, yeah. And I didn't want it to get blown out of proportion. At first, I was pissed. Don't get me wrong, girl. I went driving and like blasting my music because I was so pissed. Like I was shaking. I was so mad. Like I had tears in my eyes because I'm one of those girls that cries when she gets mad because I want to punch something and I can't.
Yeah.
I get it.
But like the worst, actually, I had it happen twice. And the second girl, she actually had deleted the entire fic and then deleted her profile because that was the only book. But she actually ripped off Yes Daddy, and it was worse. Because
no.
was ripping off entire chapters, changing around just a few like bits here and there, like just a couple characters. Like I think it was Jungkook was her best friend instead of Taehyung, and like, but she was still having like basically bit for bit exactly why. Like she had to go work for. I know Jimin was the CEO instead of Namjoon, and their positions were just flipped. Like it was literally the exact same thing. She had to go work for Jimin because her father was sick, but it was bit for bit. Like he had to buy her clothes, like all the stuff. She had to sign the NDA, like everything word for word, pretty much.
Oh man, that's gotta be super frustrating. So like in those situations, I know with the first situation, it sounds like it definitely worked itself out, and then with the second situation, I guess it did as well. But how do you move forward? Because you've written quite a few things. Like, how do you move forward without being like, I don't want to post anything ever again type?
I mean, it does really affect you. Like, I almost did want to throw in the towel at that point, but writing has always been my happy place. It's been my escape from all the horrible crap that goes on in my personal life because I've gone through quite a lot, as I'm sure everybody else does in their personal life. And I would actually go back through my messages and see, like, I can't actually even keep up with my inbox because I get so many messages from people saying such sweet things, not only of encouragement, and nice things about the things I've written, but I actually have had one girl bring me to tears because she said that she planned on ending her life.
Oh my gosh!
One night when she went and started reading one of my fics, and she said it put her in a better frame of mind and in a better mood, and it helped her lighten up and helped her learn to love herself, and realize that it was just. And it brought me to tears because I was like, how is something that I'm doing having that much effect on someone else?
Look at you doing BTS's work. You are doing BTS work, girl. You better go ahead.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's things like that really help. It really does help. And I've always told people who tell me, they'll write me and say, I want to start writing. You've inspired me to write. How should I do it? What do I go about doing? And I tell everyone the exact same thing. If you're going to write, do it for you. Do it because you enjoy it, because you like to do it. Don't do it for the amount of reads you get. Don't do it for the amount of followers you're going to get. Do it because you enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it anymore, stop doing it. Gotta do it for your enjoyment, because that's how I started. I just did it because it was something I enjoyed, and if nobody ever read it, oh well, I had fun.
Changing lives.
Look, you inspired me to try some things in the bedroom. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, girl. You, honey, especially with frat house,
Well, I was gonna say, I don't know if you guys only read completed fics, but there's a few that I'm working on that are. One is called Let's Play, and it is an OT7. She is going to wind up with Yoongi in the end. However, it still is going to continue to be OT7.
Yep, I'm going to read it. Sign me up.
Okay.
Sign me up.
Okay. Yep.
I'm only in chapter 13 right now, and it is basically she is an adult entertainer, but she doesn't sleep with her clients, and she gets a contract. She basically sleeps with the 7 of them. They all live in a house together. They're all high-profile people. And they all kind of slept with each other because they're very open-minded. And Yoongi is the mastermind behind all this, and he decides to hire a female to come in and join them.
Oh. Yeah. I'm going to have to read that. Definitely going to have to read that.
I love a good OT
story so far.
Yes. That's what
we love a good OT7.
Yep.
Oh yeah, there's been So, pretty much almost orgy scenes so far. So
Yeah,
Oh
because I
man.
don't know if you listened to our episode that we was just posted. But I was saying on there, like, this story was so good. And I was just like, this is an OT7 story. This is amazing. But I told I told Dealers, I was like, I don't know how it would turn into a Jen story, but it did eventually we see at the end. But I was so wanted to be an OT7 story because how you wrote it, it was just so good.
Yeah, and it was kind of
It
hard to
was
see like how it was gonna be a
yes.
Jen story because I remember when Lisa was telling me about it, I was like, "It's a Jen story." She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I don't see it. I don't see how
Yeah,
it's about to get
yeah.
there." And then it did, and I was like, "Okay, all right, I get it, I get it." But yeah, the story was so good, and it was just
Oh yes.
there was so much to it, and oh man, I have so many questions.
Right. So can I ask why did you not leave it an OT7 story?
I think it was because I wanted it to be Jin centric simply because Jin does not get a lot of attention. It's harder to
Yes.
find Jin stories out there. It really is.
Yeah.
It is
And the
though.
ones
It
that
really is.
are, Jin seems to be more, how do I put this, a little bit more feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not more hardcore. And in this, he is the gang leader. And
Mm-hmm.
even though he's not like
Yes.
a complete badass, he is someone to be taken seriously.
I mean, but it was just enough for Jen though. Like it was
Right.
good.
Yeah, he was
Like
still his caring and loving self, especially to the
right.
other members, but he was a no nonsense. Because no one can deny. Like, here's my thing too. A lot of people feminize Jin, and he is. We all gotta say it. Jin can be full daddy. We all know this. Did you
Right.
see the MMA
Yes.
performance when he comes out on that freaking Trojan horse and he's looking at the audience like that? My God,
Mm-hmm.
I was ready to say, "Take me, daddy."
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Cause Jen can change it up real quick.
The
Yes.
duality.
Yes, he can change it up, so I can see it definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I wanted to give him a little bit more of that because I think he gets put on the back burner in that aspect a lot.
I
Got
agree.
you. I'm not
Tulsa
mad
does.
at it, girl. It turned out amazing. I'm not even mad.
Yes. So,
I'm glad.
so I had a question about like the concept of having them be this gang and then Velvet being part of her uncle's gang. How did that like whole idea and just with their backgrounds and everything like that? How did that all come together?
Oh, basically, it all started with I've been wanting to do a gang AU for a while, and I started out with the 7 members and figured out what position I wanted them each to have in that gang. And then
Mhm,
once I did, I had to figure out a way how they all met. And I figured juvie was the easiest way to make them all meet because they are all still very young.
Mm-hmm.
mhm,
And then each of them, I wanted them to have something related to their position. Like, Namjoon, since he was the brains of the outfit, I had him get caught counting cards.
That's
mhm.
what his
Um, you
thing
know,
was, counting cards. That's
Oh yeah.
right.
and then like I know you guys had trouble remembering Yoongi. Yoongi, he caught his parents were killed, and then so he got caught attempting murder on the people who killed his parents.
That's
And so
right.
Yes, that's right.
was
That's
sent
right.
for attempted murder. Yeah, and then so of course, once he got out of juvie, he actually did kill the people. But
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
all of it had to do with something to do with and Jimin, he didn't actually kill that guy, he just castrated him. So
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
yeah. So it's like all of them had something to do with their backgrounds, but
Mhm.
had something to do with the position that they wind up in. It's like they
Right.
realize they're good at it, so they just stick with it.
Right. That
Mm-hmm.
was my next question is how you chose each member for their position because you chose it so well. Like each member has something really good that you can see them like doing. You know what I mean? Like we knew that JK, my boo, was the most obedient.
Well,
So,
obviously, the boy being, he's muscle pig, so you can see him
uh-huh.
being the muscle.
Yes,
Like
yes.
all of
Everything
them.
turned in so good.
And typically, usually people put Namjoon as the leader, for obvious reasons. But
Mhm.
again, since I wanted Jin to be the center of this fanfic, I put him as the leader. And that's another reason why I did put him as the medic as well, because I didn't want him to simply just be a leader and barking orders around and be this intimidating figure. I wanted him to show a side of himself that he did, he also cared for his gang as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that how you made them like love each other like that though too.
Yeah, it was like the just a really good family. Like even though they were in this really hard life, there was still a lot of love.
Uh-huh.
I thought
Yeah,
that
and
was pretty dope.
I've toyed with the idea. I'm not sure yet, but I have toyed with the idea of doing a prequel.
Oh
And
yes,
it would just be the 7 of them, and it would be of their time in juvie.
yes, please do that. Please
Ooh,
do that.
yes,
Please.
yes. This will be
Yes,
amazing.
that
I
would
mean,
be.
there really won't be much smut, but it'll just be their characters and how they dealt with juvie and them becoming a family.
Yeah, I would definitely love to read that. It don't have to
Me
have any
too.
smut. I'd be okay because the story, like the backstory, was just so crazy. I'm like, this is
Mm-hmm.
wild. So
Right. Oh, that would be great because you could just like get into like what was happening before they got into jail.
yeah,
Ooh,
there's
you
so
know what I
many.
really want to know about? Like it's kind of funny. You know what I really want to know about? Tay and them grandparents.
Yes.
I want to know about Tay and them
So
grandparents.
wrong.
Them grandparents turn him right on in, honey.
They did him so wrong.
Yeah. Oh man, that was. Oh, that would be so cool. Yes.
And
If
originally, I intended it to be a lot darker than it was. Like I intended it to be much more twisted, much more gory, and just a dark gang fanfic. But I just didn't see it getting there. Like it was a little bit more lighter.
yeah.
So I kept it that way, but I'm satisfying the need for a darker one right now by writing a darker fanfic that's the gang AU that's also themed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be pretty twisted. Like it's going to be messed up.
I mean,
That's
I
right
look
up your
forward to
alley.
it. Right.
I know. I was trying to say that's right up your alley, D. Was like she
Yep.
love a gang, and you said.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wrote it, you know we're gonna love it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
We love so many of the stories that you write. Like I was
Mm-hmm.
when your dragon was telling us about that you guys were close. I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect.
Right,
This is
right.
perfect.
And then she was like, "Oh yeah, she lives in South Carolina." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
I was just, how is this? Like, how does she live in Florida with you?
Yeah.
Then she lives in South Carolina with me, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah. So I had a. Oh wait, no. Go ahead, Lisa. I'm sorry. You had a. I think it was your turn for a question.
Oh, that's okay. Oh, I was gonna ask, what inspired you to write this story?
I think more like I said, it's more just Jin needed to be the star. Like
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah, like with him not having a lot of fanfics out there, and I've been wanting to write a game one for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I got a question.
Okay.
So when we spoke with your Jagia, she had a friend that had an experience that was similar to something that happened in the story. In
Uh-huh.
your story, is there any parts of it that are real life for somebody that you know? Because there's a lot of kind of wild stuff going on in there, or was it all just like made up?
In that one, I'd say that one's pretty much all made up.
Okay,
There are
cool.
there are some personal things that I have taken from myself, from life experiences in myself,
Mm-hmm.
scattered throughout my books, or from people in my life that are scattered throughout my books. But well, wait a minute.
Uh oh.
Oh, let's go. What are you gonna tell us?
I don't know that I can tell you.
Okay, yeah, keep it out. Keep
It's
it out.
okay. It's okay.
I was
But,
just
but what an imagination you have to have written these
seriously
books. I'm telling you, you have a really good, vivid imagination.
very
I've,
vivid. The
I've always
description.
been that way. Like I've been writing since I was probably 11 or 12.
Oh wow.
I started writing a book on my parents' computer when I think I started about 12.
Wow.
And it developed until I was about 16, and I had almost a 200-page book written.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I was writing it for my sister, my younger sister, and she loved it. She would go read my updates like every couple of days. She would sit down and read, and she would always ask me, "Oh my God, what's going to happen next?" I'm like, "You're just going to have to wait and find out, and then, their computer crashed, and I lost everything.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh.
So I ended up writing for several years, and then I thought about getting back into it, but I decided to start getting back into writing when my life was at a very, very low point. I was in a horrible, abusive marriage, and
Oh, no.
yeah, our marriage was pretty much technically over at that point. Like, we were just roommates. There was nothing that constituted a marriage. We lived together, and that was it, but he still treated me horribly. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so basically that was my escape, and it was my happy place. Like, I would sit there and write for hours and not even say him it's fine. And so then finally,
I'm sorry.
No, I was like, finally, when I kicked him out, I had that freedom, and that's when my writing just boomed because I could write all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
So make an escape for yourself. You actually made an escape for a lot of other people as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's great. And then, like, I've had people tell me that they draw some personal things. Like, one person told me that Crashed Into You. I don't know if you've read that one before, but it's a Hosek themed one where he meets the main character, and they're both in grief counseling in the hospital because she just lost her twin brother in a car accident, and he just lost his mother in a car accident. And they're both in grief counseling in the hospital because her mother is still in the hospital from that said accident. And they draw from each other's grief, and they wind up being each other's like support, and they wind up falling in love.
Oh, I gotta read it.
Yeah, and basically a girl messaged me and told me that she lost her sister earlier that year in a fire. And she told me that story helped her so much. Because in the story, Hosek blames himself for his mother's death because he was driving her to the hospital when they got in the accident because she was really sick with like a flu, but he was sick too. And she was sicker than he was, but he passed out at the wheel on the way to the hospital, and that's how they got in the accident.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Yeah, so he blamed himself for the accident. So she said that like she felt guilty, about her sister and things like that. So she said it helped her feel better. Like it really did. So things like that, when I get things like that, it just makes me feel so much better that I'm able to help people through my books, and I don't even know that I'm doing it. Like, it's just
right.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, I'm so glad that I'm able to help people, even if that's not necessarily the intent. Like, I'm doing it more just to entertain people and give them something to do. It's great. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, the way that you write and how descriptive it is and just how it flows together so well it's really awesome, and it makes things easy to read, and it makes it enjoyable to read. So thank you for that, because all of the stories that we've read, we've been like in it.
In it.
Yeah.
You guys, I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying everything you're reading so far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, here's my question. How is the writing the smut for you? Is it awkward?
No.
It's so good though, in detail. So
and I mean, I'm not gonna say what one some is from personal experience.
Okay.
Not bit for bits. I mean, like, I'm not gonna go from start to finish the entire thing, but some is from personal experience. And some of it is more just like, as you can tell, I have a very active imagination. And I mean, my username is Pervy Noona for a reason, so.
Right.
Well, I love how you made her such not like soft, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you didn't make the character all soft. You made her kind of hard too, because like she was about that life. So I love the way
Right.
you made her like kind of like a boss mentality attitude as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't a damsel in distress anymore. She had gotten beyond that with everything she had gone through. It
Mhm.
changes the
Yeah.
individual after a while when you go through a lot of crap. And she had certainly
Mhm.
gone through a lot of crap.
But girl, she certainly knew what she was doing with them boys. So
Okay.
she certainly
Okay.
did.
But people in the comments were saying she should be like a sex therapist.
Right.
Seriously.
Right.
Seriously. She didn't even have to talk to them full to be already. She could see it
Yeah,
to
cause
know what
I
they needed. I was like, what?
right. Cause I love the way like JK was just ready to smash and dash. And she was like,
Right.
oh no, we're gonna do it this way. And then she done some stuff to him.
And like
Mm-hmm.
with
Like he
Namjoon was thinking too much, so she blindfolded him and made him concentrate on feel.
oh
And then
Yep.
what
yes.
feel?
Oh yes, I'm
And
gonna try that.
then
I'm saying this story, all of your stories, I'm like gonna try this, gonna try
Yep,
that. Oh, gotta write this down.
yep,
All right,
check.
we're gonna save this for a rainy day.
Yep.
Like,
oh, then if you're really gonna like Let's Play, then
man,
Ooh,
I can tell by the title that I was like, when you
yes.
said let's play, I'm like, mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
yep, let's play,
That's on
let's
the
play, let's
list.
do it.
Yep.
yeah, there's some interesting scenes in there. Let's just put it that way.
So I do have a question about how the story ended. Did you have an alternate ending? Did you have like was this the only ending that you had written? Like how did that work for you?
um, I kind of wanted it to just show that their gang life was more coming to an end. I had played with the idea of doing like a sequel or an epilogue or something like that, but more my goal was just to show that they were getting out of the lifestyle that they had to be stuck in for so long. And
Mm-hmm.
they were all coming to a place where they were happy. Jin was happy, and the fact that they were able to have that love for each other and just be able to celebrate it and not have to constantly worry and look over their shoulder that somebody was going to take the other person away. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I didn't really plan too much of a long drawn out ending for that one because I figured that book was so action packed. It was almost like an action movie. So it was so
Yes.
action packed. I kind of wanted it to have just a more short, like just okay, this is finally over. We can
Right,
breathe
right, right.
now.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did it like visual like sometimes you read things and you create the movie in your head, and that's kind of how it was with reading this. Like I actually saw the
Mm-hmm.
movie kind of playing in my head, and I'm like,
Yep.
man, this would be a good ass movie.
For
Like,
real. Like you remember the scene we was talking about when she did that to the uncle? You could
yes.
just see her walking out
So
like
why
a
when y'all said
bad.
that,
Yeah. That
Yes.
was awesome. We knew we could hear the music playing in the
Hear the
background.
music playing.
I'm so glad that you guys can picture that kind of thing because you hope that your readers are picturing it in their head because when it's the kind of scene that you don't normally write, you hope that it conveys that way. Like
Mm-hmm.
the action scenes, especially because it's not something I normally write that way. Or in one of my books, it's a Tay Cook book. It's a hybrid book, but it's in that book I wrote a long court scene, and I have never written a court scene before. And I hope that it came across well. And people at the end were saying, "Oh my God, I can breathe now! Holy crap, that was tense." I'm like, "Okay, good. Thank the Lord."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it because a lot of times when me and D Lizzie be talking about the book, we're hoping that people can understand what we're talking about by describing
Right.
it to you, if they haven't read it.
Yeah,
So I understand exactly what you're talking about.
yeah. You just hope
Yeah.
that people get that idea in their head, and they're like, "Oh, that's not." Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, because I've listened to you
Mhm.
guys' descriptions before, and I've actually gone and read a couple of the books because of that.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
good. That's the goal. That's the goal. We want to inspire people to read these stories too because they are so good.
They
So
are.
one of the ones I
Yeah.
actually read before you guys reviewed it was House of Cards. Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh
House of
my
Cards was
God.
so good.
So good.
Oh, what a story.
Yes.
I got another friend addicted to it too. She's read it like 5 times.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Yes.
Woo.
Okay, so my question is, in your head, because I always ask Delazay this because people read it and they have their own description. What did each character look like in this story to you?
Each character, I would say, Jim looked a little bit more, I don't know, put together, like his little dapper self, when he wears his suits and things,
Mhm.
more gentlemanly. You know how like he has his glasses on sometimes. That kind of look, but then he also looks a little roughed up too.
Okay.
Like his hair a little messy. Like I'm looking at the millions of posters on my wall right now, and and like I have one of the black and white photos from the fake love, and like his hair's just a little bit messy.
Mhm.
And I can almost picture that for like a little bit as well. I don't know, like I hope like I could see him doing another one of like he had like a jean jacket, just like kind of almost like roughed up a little bit as well because he's a drug dealer, or like all in his leather and all that, that kind of thing. Yoongi was definitely in leather, tattooed. Mm-hmm.
Was he blonde?
Yes.
Was he blonde?
Yes, he was platinum Yoongi.
Yeah, I told you
Yes.
he was
Yep,
blonde
you were
in
right.
this story.
You were right. Yep, he was right.
And JK, I kind of pictured him a bit like, see, I don't even know if these concepts necessarily were out when I wrote these, but like now looking back at it, because like at the time I'm not sure how I pictured him when I was writing it, but like looking back and reading these characters, I almost pictured JK looking like he did in On.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a good JK. That's a good JK.
Wait a minute, Delazay. All JKs are good JKs.
I mean, facts. Definitely facts.
Oh my gosh! Like really, most of them could do that way. Like, Tay, I have a weakness for curly haired Tay. Like,
oh yes,
curly haired Tay is just. I have a weakness for a lot of them. The look, but
same.
Curly haired Tay is just like when they performed. Oh my god, they were all like dressed to the nines at the MMA. And it's, oh God Almighty, I can't get into it. But Jimin could go a couple of ways. I definitely did not picture him with blonde hair, definitely, because that's more of a lighter feel for me for Jimin when he has blonde hair.
Yeah, like the arrangement.
I almost pictured him more like Blood, Sweat, and Tears Jimin.
Okay.
His gray hair, his silver hair, because he was hottest. 80s with hair like that.
Oh, he was too.
Right.
Like I know when they brought it back for Idol, I'm sorry, like Yoongi is my bias and will be my bias all day, every day. But I could not stop looking at Jimin during Idol. I was like, what did they do?
It'd be like that sometime, girl. It'd be just like that sometime.
Well, I used to say Jimin was my wrecker, but now I literally, it's like Yoongi and then the rest of them wreck me, like all the time.
Right.
That's how we feel.
Constant battle.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a constant battle.
Right. I think that was my next question. I was going to ask you who was your bias and bias wrecker.
Oh yeah, Yoongi's my ult. Like I'm multi-fandom too. Like it's not just BTS. I'm definitely multi-fandom. Like I've been to many, many concerts. I've been to like Monster X twice. I've seen 2-4K, The Rose. Who else have I seen? Went and saw Super M back in November. But BTS will always have my heart.
Right. And that's how I feel about GOT7. Like, I love BTS, but GOT7 is like right under it. Like, I do like them too.
JB, man.
Ooh, JB is everything.
With that long hair. Oh,
I try to tell dealers, she don't ever listen to me about that.
I just haven't tapped into outside groups yet. I listen to their music, but I haven't I don't know who everybody is yet. I'm baby steps.
Yeah. Dealers ain't what She has to go back and read that other book with Uncle JB then. Yeah.
Oh yes, girl, you're gonna love that freaking story. What is it? Remember Me, Remember Us?
Yes,
Is
it's
that the one?
Remember Me and Remember
You
Us is
have
the
to read
sequel.
that one. You're gonna love that one, girl.
Yes,
Love it.
yes,
It's wild.
yes. If you love
Oh,
JB, you're gonna love him in that story.
oh God,
And it's a
Flyers.
BTS story, but Got Seven is in there too.
I
Mm-hmm.
love when they old too. And I've tried to incorporate more members of other groups as well. Like I've been starting to incorporate more of APs too because APs have come in and woo, like they are.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I like that a lot too. But I'm starting to incorporate other groups more and more into my books as well. Because I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody likes when they kind of drop into it's kind of you see
yeah.
people out over names. Like I'm doing a sequel, and the little girl in it, her name is one of the members of Everglow, like a female.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and
Uh-huh.
I'm not really. And one thing about me is I'm really not big into girl groups. There's like a very, very few that I like, but
Yeah.
it's more because like I wasn't really very much into female artists before I got into K-pop.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's more just I think it's the male register of the voices. It just it's something to do with the deeper sound I like better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just hits a little bit different.
Right,
It
right,
does.
right.
Which is why most of my biases and most of the groups have a deeper voice.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Most, not all, but most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So, how did you come up with the like? Okay, so each person had a different style as to what they liked sexually.
Uh-huh.
How did you come up with that for each of them? Like how like what made you go, this is what this person is into, what is this person is into? And the other part of this question is actually not a question, but I just want to thank you for making Namjoon also have a big one yet
Yeah,
again. I just appreciate this. But yeah, that was the question.
yeah, yeah. Take the words right out my mouth. Thank you, ma'am.
I think it was more because of what their positions were. Like, so for
Okay.
Jungkook, he was the muscle, so he was really hardened, and that's what his whole life was. It was just very difficult and harsh, and he had to beat people up and stay hard in the gym. So everything about him was hard. So she decided to do something soft for him that he was not used to.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Like with Tay, he was a little bit more secluded, and he was, because he wasn't out, he didn't go out and do these tactical operations with all of them. He kind of stayed away, and he kept odd hours, and of course he got along with all the members, but he just was not very personable with other people. So
Right.
she made him feel comfortable. Like she knew he needed comfort. So that's why she did that, and that's why she asked him what he wanted. She like kind of made sure he felt included and that he got his desires filled. Jimin, it was more because he had been in control of all his girls for a long time, and she could tell that he auditioned them, like he took care of them, so he had to audition all these new girls. That's why she said, "Nope, nope, you're gonna take care of me, like you're gonna be in charge." And he was like,
Yeah.
And Hulk, it was more about the personal touch. Like it was. I don't even know how to put that one. His was a little bit. I don't know. I kind of a little bit flew by the seat of my pants on that one, but his was more that he just enjoyed her company from the get go, and he just wanted to be with her more, and like it was more about touch and feeling close because the drug. He had been dealing with the drugs for a long time, and it's that world was really really messed up. So I think he wanted to feel normalcy and like just that closeness. Namjoon, again, like I said, he's a thinker and he was thinking too much, so she blindfolded him, so he had to concentrate on feel.
Yeah.
Yoongi, she appealed to his intelligence and his know-how, she showed him that she's not a damsel in distress and that she could handle herself. So, which is why when she started learning about the weapons, she took something that he is really into and she showed interest, and then she just let him basically use her. And Like, my friend started laughing about the line when she said something about how she could handle big things, you know, and it was. And then with Jen, of course, I wanted to make him the gentleman about how he wouldn't sleep with her. And she was so prepared to sleep with him and she wanted to sleep with him, but then him holding back it threw her all off. But then, yeah, and then immediately she was like, well, then I'm going to do something.
Right.
I mean, because when it went down, okay?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because when she put on that leather outfit, though, to change his mind.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I love that scene. I was like, yes, girl,
Yes,
work. You better
girl.
tell him he don't own you.
Yeah, and it's
Empowerment.
I will give you a little clue about Let's Play. Because of that scene and because of Jin being more submissive in BTS Boys Next Door. I don't know if you've read that one. One of the girls asked if Jin could be a submissive in Let's Play, and he is. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read that story. I gotta go find it's on Wattpad?
It's on Wattpad, and I am on AO3 as well.
Okay,
I
cool.
update on both things all the time.
Okay,
And
so it's different stories on both of the platforms, or are they same story on?
they're on both the platforms. It's the same story. I do, like, if I notice grammatical errors or spelling, I try to fix them at least on Wattpad. I usually don't get over to do it on AO3. But and I do have to admit, my writing has gone. The production has come way off because, like, I used to put out so much and so quickly, but life has been absolutely insane lately.
Well, that's
Absolutely.
okay.
yeah.
We know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we completely understand.
Yeah.
It's been nuts.
And I hate
So
it. I wish I could fight all the time, but.
So my next question is, what kind of fan fiction do you like to read? Like, is the fiction that you write about, is that the type that you like to read, or is there something that you like to read, or something like that?
This is going to sound funny, and honestly, I can't explain it, but I actually prefer to read member books over reader member books.
Really?
Oh, so you like ship series?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know why. I can't explain it. I don't know why, but I think it might also be because sometimes I have trouble with the way certain writers will write the main character. I can't get in their headspace at all because, like, the main character will be like, "Oh my god, what an idiot!" or like, "There's no way I would ever do that. Or I could ever even think about doing that. Like, what are they doing?" Like, I just can't put myself in that headspace, and I get annoyed, or I get like it disconnects me way too much, or they describe the main character way too much, and then it just makes me disconnect. And it makes me very hard to get immersed. That's why I try not to describe the main character at all. Because it's like, I want the person, very rarely will I put some description in there. Like in Let's Play, I'm making the main character, her name is Violet because she dyes her hair bright purple. Because that's the name, that's her stage name. So she goes by Violet. That's why. But usually I don't have any kind of description about the character because I don't want that to throw off somebody reading it and for them to get disconnected.
Okay. So you leave it up to their imagination.
Yeah, but personally I like to read ship books, and I actually told my readers not long ago, and many of them like to read ship books as well, and I have technically 2 ship books. So I have got at least 4 more coming out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got a Yoongi and Tae, a Namjoon and Yoongi, a Maknae line, and then a Jikook one so far.
Okay.
Oh no, and I got a Chuseok one. So
okay.
Yeah, eventually. Got,
that sounds good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've only got one. One is I have a little series. Like I've started a little series because I did one little book, and I had never done it before. I have a Jungkook little book, and then I did a spinoff, and it's Namjoon. And then I'm doing another spinoff that's Yoonmin, because it's another couple in the book. And then I have another Yoonmin book that's called Soulmate. So, yeah, that
if you ever want to write a, JK story shipping with me, I'll I love it.
Oh my god. Well, it's so funny because I have another friend who lives in Raleigh, and she is a huge she loves Namjoon and she loves Jungkook, and she like flips back and forth between who's her bias all the time. Like she cannot. She's like, I'm faithful to Namjoon. I'm faithful to Namjoon. Come here, JK.
Got
She's like, this is what she says. This is how she described it, and it made me laugh so hard. She goes, I know that Namjoon and I are going to get married and settle down, and we're going to have a lot of kids. But right now, I just met JK at the bar, and I want him to bang me against every surface in the house. I laugh.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
That is.
Yeah, so, that's where I'm at right now.
That is great.
Because I love JK. I love JK, but honey, with a Dom Namjoon, woo!
Man, what? That's why Yes Daddy and Yes Sir are my favorite, like my favorite Namjoon stories. I love them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I started doing an Omega verse, an ABO, which is the Alpha Beta Omega verse, and so it's a Namjoon and Jungkook, and then the reader. It's called. Yeah, I started it. I think I'm 17 chapters in, and I paused it because Jagya was writing a threesome type book. This one's completely different, but it's so I'm going to continue it shortly, but I'm like 17 chapters in, but it's basically the premise is Namjoon is an alpha, Jungkook is a beta, and they're a mated couple already, and the main character, you're an omega, and you go with your father to a neighboring territory to discuss like border disputes or whatever, and she meets Jungkook, and they feel each other's pull as mates, and he's confused because he already mated with Namjoon. So he goes and gets Namjoon and brings Namjoon to her, and Namjoon feels the pull too. So they are in a very rare, they're a very rare triad, which is like very rarely heard of.
Ooh, that's gonna be good,
right?
Especially when Namjoon's rut hits. And it triggers her heat.
Okay, yes.
I'm ready for that one.
Yep. Did you have any other questions, Lisa?
I think that was it for me.
Okay. Did you have any questions for us?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in for another episode. We definitely want to thank you, Pervy Noona, for joining us. It was a great time.
Yes.
To read your other stories.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any like social media platforms and stuff that you want people to know about so they could find you?
Just the AO3 and Wattpad, and then I'm on Twitter. I mean, I don't post on there a ton, but if I do, it's all shared BTS stuff, and occasionally I will share actual photos of, like, I've posted a video of all the BTS stuff I have up all over my room. I've got 5 BTS themed tattoos so far. And
nice.
I've got them posted on there, so it's like that kind of thing. But if anybody wants to follow me there, I've got the link on my Wattpad, or you can find me on Twitter.
All right. Well, as always, guys, you can follow us on Twitter as well, and on Instagram. You can email us at doyoureadbts@yahoo.com. I know Lisa mentioned this last week. If you guys are sending those recommendations, please include who it's about and where it can be found, so that we can find it and we can read it and we can do these reviews and share it with you all.
Right, and also remember that we are doing a Q&A episode. So if you guys have any questions regarding our lives, you want to know something about BTS or what we think of BTS, just let us know. We want to answer them for you.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again, everybody. You guys have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.